It's Baruch Fleischman, your host for the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. We are riding along on this planet Earth, circling around, going in a circle around. It's a merry-go-round with different illuminations all around as we're traveling around the sun at 67,000 miles an hour. Did you know how fast a bullet travels? Ping, right? Faster than a speeding bullet, right? 1,700 miles an hour. You have 50,000 miles an hour more than a bullet is the speed that we are moving on. We're on a planet, and not only that, it's not just moving that way. It's moving, it's rotating, which leads us to the truth, which I'm trying to say, is that so are our lives, our physical lives. They rotate. Better Gehenim, as the Zohar says, than Gilgal, coming back again. Because we do. Can't get it right, we keep working on it. So here we are on this planet. Now the Zohar here today, as we said, is in Parshas Miketz. It's on Daf Kuf Tzadi Vav, Amud Beis. We're going to start on page Reish Dalet at the very bottom. When Shabbos is over, and we see ourselves entering into the new cycle of the new week, we're going to run into a set of prayers at the end that exists in Sfardi and Ashkenaz and Chassidic and everything else that we daven. This phrase, Vayehi Noam. Noam. We say this after Shabbos is over. So he says, the Zohar says like this, Vahai Noam. So we're down at the bottom of the page. Masha Kasav Darkecha Darchei Noam. This is what we say. He says that your paths, your roads are paths of sweetness, pleasantness. What is this? This is a radiance, a glow of radiation, that's better, that's coming from the next world. The next world is called Bina, Hanikras Olam Haba, which is also called the future world, the world to come. So, right, because we are cycling. Well, its cycle has other cycles within it that are also cycling. But look, we're moving 67,000 miles an hour. We don't notice it. So we don't notice it. How will we ever notice the cycles that were in us? And that's what the Zohar wants to pair us to. So he's Ma'alma Da'asi Naharim called Botzanim. From the next world is the torch that lights all the other torches. Umerabina Me'irim called spheres to their anpin. So he translates, he says that from Bina, our mother, it shines this radiant glow to the spheres of Zer Anpin, Hanikras Neros, which are called Neros. Now, Neros is a funny word, the word Ner, and it's in plural when it says Neros. So it means the idea of Ner is that, I'm trying to make sure I get this mic going good, that the idea of this is that Ner is two letters, Nefesh and Ruach. So I am talking, right now I'm talking, right? But if I just did not bring it out through my mouth and my teeth and my tongue and all the different apparatus that forms this breath that's coming out of me into words, gives it vocalization. It comes from the bottom, called ruach, and it goes to nefesh. Nefesh is a ruach mamalala. It's a ruach that's speaking. So this is all a creation. It's such a creation when we talk. So then when we say Neros, that's what we're talking about, that we're talking about the fact that male and female are really one. They make one candle. As it burns. Then it's parsha and call aver, and they spread out to all the different limbs of the body. They spread to all the sides, to the outside world, to the worlds that are outside where we live. We live in a seah, down at the bottom. Or on the outside, the most outside. So this goodness, there's something called goodness. This refers to the glow of this radiant glow, the Alma Da'asi that comes from the future. So this tov, this word tov in this pasuk refers to chesed. But there's also a radiant glow that's coming from which are gevuros, which are coming from Bina as well. the yonking of Vahon, so our fathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and we said that Abraham is Chesed and Yitzchak is Gevurah. And right now in this parsha, we're talking about Yaakov. Yaakov's the middle line, the balance line. Makab name Chagat. So therefore the Chagat, the Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes, our fathers, Ikri Noam. They're all called by that name, Nikra Noam. So we have to understand what he's saying. So we have to see something, there's something related to the formation of reality in the inner workings of what we could try to perceive. Because all of the Zohar and all the Ari has come to teach us how to pray. Come to teach us how to learn and why to learn. Well, if he's Pirush Matok M'dvash shal HaTorah, so there now we can explain like this: a person's paths are the paths of Torah. Whose paths? The paths of Bina. Shehem Sinoras Hashefa shal Chagat Dezah. So he says, no, these are channels of bracha that are coming from our fathers Chagat, which are also called Chagat, Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes. Dezah Heim Darchei Noam. These are paths of pleasantness, sweetness, cuddling, warmth. These are paths and channels that allow the shefa, the bracha that's coming from up above, Nikra Noam, which is called sweetness. Sure, let's say that Noam, I know it's called means pleasantness. Is pleasant enough to say that Noam is? It's a radiance from Bina. Shuhu shefa habina, which is actually the flow that is coming out of Bina. She'over b'Bina ala Malchus, that ultimately going to come out of Bina into Malchus. And since worlds are replications, one after the next, that is when we speak about the Olam of Atzilus, or Bria, or Yetzira, or Asiya. When we're speaking about any of those worlds, what we're talking about is they are replications of each other, but going further away from the Ein Sof Baruch till you get to where we are, which is the Sia of the Sia. So then let's go on. Let's try to. This is Friday. So he says, Davar Acher, here's something else. I'm going to give you another explanation. Pirush Acher she'ein ha'aras Bina. It's not the radiant glow that's coming from Bina. Nikras Noam, because shehi me'ira b'zah, where she's shining at the Zah. Elda Alma da'asi ikra Noam, but the future world, the next world, that is Bina. Bina itself is called pleasantness, or this sweet pleasantness. Bina, mitzad atzba nikras Noam. It is her own nature, her own ness is this sweetly pleasant woman. The fisha yesh bal sod shem akia de yudin shigematria Noam imakola. I'll make it quick. Akia, the name Akia. Remember Moshe Rabbeinu at the burning bush? He says, Akia, Akia, Hashem answers him. So he says, Akia, I will be what I will be. Well, this is referring to Bina, because Bina is the ultimate source that we can put our hands on, that we could conceptualize from where all this bracha comes from. You can make a milui out of this world, and it comes to the gematria of 161. So 161 represents the radiant glow of Bina, and it says that the word Noam, which is radiant glow, im ha-koilo, with the kollel, because it has a root, so Noam by itself is 160, with the kollel, which is a shorish, it makes it 161. It's the same thing. Vakat asar alma da'asi. So when is awakened the next world, v'kasher misoreres habina, now Bina is awakened, the hashpia shefa of the dalad mochin, the zeranpin. Now you've all heard, let me translate first. When Bina becomes aroused, how should she become aroused? By our prayers. Our prayers arouse her. We need her. When your children need you, right? You're going to give if you can. You're going to find a way to give. So when she's aroused to give, now the shefa, which is called the dalad mochin. What are dalad mochin? Anybody heard of Chabad Chasidus? So the Malach Mochim are Chachma, Bina, and Das. That is the channel and the ultimate nature that could be described. If we understood what Chachma was, we understood what Bina was, we understood what Das is, then we would understand what the nature of this flow that's coming at us and how it is internal to us that it can be manifest. So there's a question. Everybody says the same question, but Chabad, that's how we pronounce it. So Chabad is only three. You said there's four of them. Because it turns out, this is as the Gaon of Vilna says, that the middle, who is Yaakov, is always split. It's always two. It's always male and female. Because the male side is going to go over to the Chesed side, and the female side is going to go over to the Gevurah side. And so therefore, that's the balance idea, and that's what is these Shefa Mochim, V'harosechem, and the glow of radiance that comes from, where is it going to go? It's going to go to Malchus. And like I was trying to say, I don't know if I try to say it over and over again, is that we are duplications becoming more and more physical as we get away from the ultimate structure of Atzilus. We have all the same components, but we're physical. And this is all different kinds of radiance, but the radiance is too great for our world. And this is the reason why we live here, trying to bring whatever radiance we can into the world. Let's go on. Oz kol cheda v'kol tiva v'kol naherde v'kol cheru da'alma da'isar. Then all of the joy, let's read it again. Kol mini simcha, all different kinds of simcha. Ta'haina ha'gavura dedas, because das, like I said before, is actually two parts. I didn't spell it out well enough. The right side of das is called the chesed dedas. And the left side of das is called the gavura dedas. So that's how you get the four. So you had chachma, bina, das, and das says it in the chesed the das and the gevurah the das. Right side, left side of das is split, like the Gaon said. The hainach gevurah the das. V'kol tov hainach chesed the das. All the goodness that refers to the chesed the das. V'kol ha'oros and all of the oros hainu muach ha'chachma. That's the chachma, which is another moach. V'kol cheres, all the freedom sheba'olam in the world hainu muach habina. That's the fours of the munabina. These things all have to be really spend some time thinking about it. They are all awakened from it. And this is the reason why it's called pleasant. Because of all of these aspects that are coming in to Zer Anpin and will be distributed to Malchus. It brings pleasant, cuddling sweetness. It brings and also brings joy into Zun. So these mochim, then, when they come in, they call for their own side to be considered to be this concept of Noam, and then it glows inside of us. Now, why are we doing this? What's the point? And on this we learn like this. Keep going on in the Zohar. Chayav in the Gehenim, the Chayav in the Gehenim. When Shabbos comes, then they all come to a rest. When Shabbos comes, they rest. They can rest, and they have freedom. So he says, Rishayim shebegehenim, b'shasha Shabbos. When Shabbos comes in for the Rishayim at Gehenim, they get a chance to get Noach, rest. V'yesh lechem cheros u'menucha, they get freedom and relief. Because of the power of the radiant glow of the Kedusha of Shabbos and Mispashetis Ma'abina, which is coming out from Bina. B'Shabbat did not think Shabbos, but B'Shasha Yotzes Shabbos, when Shabbos is over, Islan is Ara Hedu Yilo Olon the Shteshet Mahal Onasha the Hayavaya. Now, it translates, I want to tell us something that Rabbi Mimran is one of the last things he told me when I was learning with them. I will bring this in. It has to do with what we call Shalashudas. Yesh lana the orach alena simcha. So it's up to us to bring down, to awaken, on us simcha el yonah, the upper simcha. That's what we're trying to do. Shenidnatzel ma'osa ha'oinin shel rishayim, that would save us from what's coming from those Rishayim. Look what he says. He says we have to erase the simcha. So I'm trying to understand Shalosh Shudas, because Rabbi Memram said he quoted a Mishnah Berurah, and he says that at the time of Shalosh Shudas, immediately after that, and during that period, the Rishayim and Gehenim are preparing to come back to Gehenim, because in Shabbos they're out, which is set. So you have to think about what's the purpose of it. Now, he just said it's in Masameach, we're trying to get to that, to be Masech the whole thing. This is after Shabbos is over. The Shaloshut is still on there. But anyway, that was just an insight that he told me I'm thinking about. So in any way, he says, is Danu Mahaki Shata Lahala, because the moment Shabbat is over, the din starts again. Zohar. V'islan la'asara v'lema. So we have to awaken. This order of Elomer to say like this. V'yin noam Hashem Elokeinu aleinu. Let that pleasant glow come down onto us. Pirush do kun noam ilo cheded dekula. This is the upper sweetness, the upper niceness, the upper kindness. Zehu mitzad noam ha'elyon shalabina. This is the side which is called the sweet, that sweet, pleasant glow from Bina. Shehi simchas kol ha'olam, which is really the source of all the simcha that exists in the world. Ratzon olomo she'anom mispalalim shene'imis Shabbos. So what are we doing? We start to say V'hi Noam. So he says that preparing it and getting it together. You know, a lot of things in the Rishash that goes through this. It's very interesting. But anyway, we are praying that sweet glow of radiance that Shabbos is. Tishra Aleinu, it should dwell on us, v'ninatzel, and to save b'dinei hagehenim, save us from the dinim of the Gehenim. And that's the reason why it says, and your paths are paths of sweetness, sweet comfort. Pirush Darkei Torah, the paths of the Torah, which we said before are really the paths that come through the Chabad into, that is the Chesed Chochmah Bina Das, flows into Zer Anpin. They fall fundamentally into the top part, which are our fathers, which are Chesed, Gevurah, and Tiferes, the Zer Anpin. Shehem Manhigim as Malchus, because they are the ones that actually lead all the Shefet to Malchus. What's Malchus? What's he talking about? He's talking about us. We're always in trouble. We have short lives. We have difficulties in our relationships. There's nothing but obstacles. But wait a minute. The real truth is that it's a pleasantness coming from God. That's what they keep thinking about it, working on it, thinking about it. Val yada, v'al yada, as kala in the canal. So then, as we receive, the whole world receives. Even the goyim. Heim darchei noam, they are the paths of this pleasant, radiant sweetness. Vishem mekamna ba'arasim b'chabina, because why? That ha'ara which comes from Bina, that's what we want to be able to pull down into the rest of our lives. Now he goes on and he says like this, because the world that we live in, and this is the Zohar, I'm going to finish up, synopsize. The Zohar wants to tell us that the world that we live in has a lot of dinim in it. There is punishment here. If you live here, you get punished. You have good times, but there are also bad ones. Because we're living, as Yaakov Hillel said, the Zuhom is a nachash. We live around in a pool of the poison of the snake. Whatever that means, it's a metaphor. But the fact of the matter is that we can do something about it. We can say Vayehi Noam, and we could pray that will come back down to us during the weekdays, and that pleasant glow that we get from Shabbos will continue on with us. All the best. Thanks for listening or viewing.